So just a big warning when you watch this video, please use the video timestamp links in order to do A/B comparisons between the various mics. I go on and talk a lot of different things, but the reason why I did this is to give you real good sounding examples of just me talking in general, like so just talking about the mics and whatnot. So definitely use the timestamps. Can you hear the sirens? Really annoying. All right guys, I'm really excited to test this Sony mic. This is the ECM-B10, which is the cheaper version to the B1. This has 4 mics. The reason why I'm so excited about this is that I'm so fed up of having to use shotgun mics that you have to plug it in and then you have to battery power them. That's just really, really annoying. And also I've had terrible shoots where I recorded an hour's length video, and because of this green button on the side over here, so this is a capacitive button, and if you actually touch it, for example, let's say you have the mic close to you and you touch it by accident, you can turn it off and you're not going to even know. Or sometimes the battery just runs out, the AAA battery that's inside here, and it just doesn't work. So I have the shotgun mic on here, and I always have to go into the record audio levels, as you can see over here, and I have to say testing mic 1, 2, 3, testing mic, and I have to make sure I'm not clipping. You can see I'm hitting -3 between -12 and -3 decibels, so that's good. But then I always have to tweak it, I have to open up the settings here, so that can be really annoying. Honestly, the Deity D3 mic that I'm using was a terrible choice on my part. It sounds really good, but just the usability of it, the fact that the battery can go out any moment, the capacitive button, it just makes things really, really scary. And then I have my Rode Wireless Go, which doesn't sound very good. Here, like, first time I almost snapped this entire door here. Cheap stuff here. So I got my Rode Wireless Go, and I like this. It's really good if you're really far away from the camera. But the worst thing about this is that every time you put it on your shirt, you feel this piece of plastic on you, or it looks kind of weird because you have this plastic here. It doesn't look that great. And then you obviously have a dangling wire. You got to set the audio levels again, and this is battery powered. So if you're gonna go out, and I've noticed this when I was trying to film outside, I get a lot of stress I get a lot of stress when I'm trying to film outside because there's like all this equipment that's hanging out, and I don't know, I just don't do it very often. And I find that having to do this setup for the audio mic is it's just too much effort that I end up just using the onboard mic on my camera, and I don't know, I just don't get good audio quality in that regard. So anyways, we'll be doing a test. We'll be testing in this kind of studio setup. We'll run through the typical stuff that I typically do, like kind of what I'm doing right now. Basically unboxing and doing a voiceover, kind of like an overhead shot, and then just talking head over here. We'll be comparing all the mics, the onboard mic on the Sony FX30, the Deity D3 that's currently being filmed right now, this Rode Wireless Lab, and this one right here. So let's unbox it right away. All right, so small package. I really like how small this is. I'm really excited. I hope it sounds just as good or better than this directional mic, which is also very heavy. Okay, so I just switched to the Sony FX30's onboard mic, just so I can do a better voiceover. So hopefully that makes it sound a little bit better, because obviously the shotgun mic you can't really hear me very well. Okay, we got a bunch of instruction manuals, so we don't really care about that. By the way, the box looks very nice. It kind of reminds me of the Sony ZV-1 box. You got all these pickup patterns. I'm sure by now you watched all the reviews and you just want to hear the sound tests and my use cases of why I'm getting this. Okay, yeah. Very small and light so far. Fluffy, nice. Okay, it's pretty light. I like that so far. Ooh, wow, that is a lot smaller in person than I had thought. So here we got only 4 mics, not 8. I've been watching a lot of reviews, and it seems like the 4 and 8 are very similar in sound quality. I hope that's the case. And you know what's really great about this? You have no micro USB slot. I wonder what the hell is this for? Okay, there is a micro USB slot, so that's concerning. I don't know what that's for, because you obviously don't charge it, so I'll have to read the manual or leave a comment if you know what it means. Okay, I hope I didn't. Okay, cool. So let's do a weighing test, because every gram counts, especially when you put your camera on a gimbal or your hand holding it for vlogging. So it really, really matters. It really counts. Or you're just traveling with it, like you want to put it in this little messenger bag. So Okay, 72 grams. I think that's what was on the website. So for comparison, let's compare it with this is the Deity D3, which I was filming earlier. Now I'm obviously using the onboard mic. So we have to include this battery and the, okay, so quite substantial, nearly double the weight, close to double. So yeah, and it's just very big and cumbersome. So let's put that back on. Now the thing is that it seems rather tall. Oh no, it's about the same height. I don't know why this thing just feels so big, and like it's kind of really lopsided. And you know what? I know it uses beamforming technology, but how the hell does this work? In like, how does it pick up right in front of it? Like the mics are out here. It's like voodoo magic for me. I don't know how this stuff works. Okay, the Rode Wireless Go. Let's test that out. See how much that weighs. 42 grams, so it's obviously a lot lighter. Wind muff. Okay, so 4 extra grams with the wind muff. So obviously this is going to be the lightest if you want to run on your gimbal. I'm obviously just doing the receiver. Oh, and the first thing I want to double check is I'm going to keep it on auto, filters off. I'm going to switch it to digital, and it's going to be on the Supercardioid pattern. And this stuff doesn't really matter because you're really controlling it only through auto. And this is something that I'm really curious about because... So this is a very expensive microphone, and one of the main reasons why I purchased it is obviously for the auto level. When I'm outside, typically I don't want to set the audio levels and do all the finessing with the audio levels, because looking through the LCD screen in a bright sunlight and then trying to adjust it and seeing whether you're peaking or not, it's way too stressful to do that in a running gun situation. Now this microphone does have some shock absorption. I'm going to test whether or not walking, I've heard reports of people walking with this mic and it transferring noise to the actual microphone. So hopefully that's not the case, in case you want to, walk around and stuff like that. So let's try that out. It's really hard to get this off. How do I get it off? I don't want to break it. It feels like flimsy plastic. So when I try to go to my audio levels, and it says unavailable when you have this external mic plugged in. So cool, looks like it's working. Now one thing I noticed is that there's no LED indicator showing that it's working or anything like that. So that's a little unfortunate, but yeah. Okay, so I just attached the ECM-B10 microphone on top of the Sony FX30. How does the mic sound right off the bat?
Okay, so this is a shake test. Shake test. Shake. Speaking into the mic. 1, 2, 3.
Testing mic 1, 2, 3. I'm just going to be kind of walking a little fast just to see if we can hear any of those micro jitters or whatever. Let's zoom out. So we're on the Supercardioid pattern and everything's set to defaults. Digital. Testing mic 1, 2, 3. This is a test. I'm speaking into the mic very close, maybe 2 hand distance away from my, let's say, less than my arm distance away from the microphone. Testing mic 1, 2, 3. How does this sound? Testing mic 1, 2, 3. All right, so now I just switched to omnidirectional mode, and I didn't really bother with the second pattern, which is the middle between, it does more of like a spread range in front of the camera. I found that it's not gonna make a big difference in an indoor setting like this. I'm not gonna be using it. The reason why I'm going to be using the omnidirectional mode is to do voiceover. So let's say I go behind the mic and I start speaking more quietly. Hopefully it can really pick me up. Now I'm just gonna go a little below the mic. Testing mic 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I'm just gonna be going a little bit below the mic. Let's say I want to be doing an unboxing. So it's gonna be like right here on the overhead rig. Testing mic, so it might be like this. Testing mic 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me? I'm in omnidirectional mode. Okay, let's quickly to the Supercardioid. Testing the off-axis rejection. I'm pretty far away from the mic at this point. And now I'm gonna go back and just plop it down here. Let's see if I can do my little vlog setup thing. This tripod totally sucks. It's not very conducive for vlogging. We're obviously in a very stressful situation. By stressful, I mean this is not a treated room. I'm gonna open this door to allow some of the sound waves to bounce around. Unfortunately, yeah, this is not a treated little studio. It's an apartment building that's very small, so there's lots of reverberation and whatnot. So it's a real stress test. It's honestly a real stress test. And one of the things I want to be able to do is simply go on my computer, sit down, and just talk naturally. The funny thing is that the mic is so high, maybe my tripod's too high at this point. Maybe I can just go a little lower. So right now I'm using the wireless lav mic from Rode Wireless Go. This is the Rode Wireless Go mic, testing mic 1, 2, 3. I'm going to be switching between these microphones. How does the sound test? Testing mic 1, 2, 3. So one thing I want to mention about the Rode Wireless Go is when you plug it in with this still plugged in, the Sony B10 microphone plugged in, it seems like the wired mic will take priority and become the default level. As you can see, there's the levels here. So now I can go into levels, and obviously I'm clipping at this point, so I need to like balance it out. I can just, let's put it on the lower des. So this is why I hate dealing with mics and stuff like that. It's just testing mic 1, 2, 3, testing mic 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I'm -3, so that's fine. And yeah, I don't have a place to mount this, so I'm gonna need a cold shoe adapter on the Sony FX30 just to give it a place to mount it in case I don't want to use this. So let's go into some sound test. And by the way, yes, this is an indoor test. If you do take this microphone outdoors, it's gonna sound a lot better because obviously outdoors doesn't have any walls to like reverberate the sound waves or whatnot. So like, you know, these like bare walls here, it's not gonna sound that great, to be honest. But hopefully this microphone changes it and performs better than this. And I wonder how it will perform if the microphone is boomed closer, like let's say a traditional shotgun mic. If I boom it closer, will it compete with the shotgun mic that's on top of the camera, like the Sony shotgun mic? Because that's one of the biggest downsides with this camera, or this microphone, is that you have to be fairly close, so you need a wide angle lens. You need to be, if you're on a 30 and you're this close, it's not gonna work out for you. If I go back to 30 mil focal equivalent, now I'm really far away, it's not gonna sound good because it's gonna pick up more of the echo, so kind of have to be really close. Yeah, this is closer than I was before. One of the things I always notice with the Rode Wireless Go is that it sounds very tinny. It doesn't sound very good, and I never apply EQ because I just don't have time for messing with settings and whatnot. So yeah, I don't like the sound quality as much. It just sounds, yeah, it sounds good. It sounds a lot better. It has a very low noise, but compared to some of the other mics, like if you put this mic right next to you, boom it sounds way better. So this is a sound test, testing mic 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I stopped testing with the Rode Wireless Go. I just put on the Deity D3 shotgun mic, which has the same cardioid capsules as the Pro version. So if you have the Deity D3 Pro, it's more or less the same. I did a full review of that 3 years ago, a long time ago. That's a very old mic, but I think it still sells decently. So testing mic 1, 2, 3. I don't know how my levels are, so let me double check. Testing mic 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I'm flipping now, so I gotta manually adjust the mic. And the thing with the Sony menus is that they're very small and hard to see, like the audio levels. Testing mic 1, 2, 3. Let's go down. So yeah, maybe that's fine. So yeah, this is the sound test. Microphone test, speaking into the same distance as before, as this little guy, the B10. Testing mic 1, 2, 3. And yeah, the Deity D3, it's a good mic. I like it when I boom it really close. Like for example, one of the best things about it is, pretend this is the Deity D3, I could just plug it in, and I have it on this kind of like really long 11-inch magic arm, and then I can put it towards my light that's close to me, and I can get the mic really close. I'll show you a shot of what that looks like. I do that a lot on my main tech channel where I review tech gadgets. So yeah, how does this sound? Testing mic 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's just switch to the onboard microphone because all my other prior tests were like really close and really... I switched to the onboard inbuilt internal microphone of the Sony FX30. You have to redo that line because it was probably cut out. I don't have any of these other microphones tested right now because obviously I'm using the onboard mic. How does it sound? Testing mic 1, 2, 3. So I just put the ECM-B10 back onto the Sony FX30. I love that I don't have to adjust the gain, the volume levels. It's not allowing me to adjust the volume gain, which is really nice. Let's just maybe quickly play with that. Let's switch. We're still in cardioid. Okay, what happens when I switch So we're at level 5, we're manual now, but I still can't adjust it. Testing mic 1, 2, 3, testing mic. I can't even see my levels. Like I can't get into the level screen, which is kind of unfortunate. That's really strange. Because yeah, sure, I'm in manual mode, but I can't change, or sorry, I can't get a bigger image of my audio gain levels. I kind of just have to look at the top right corner. So you can see over here, this little tiny top right corner. If I try to get to the audio gain levels, I can't. Let me turn that off. Yeah, I just get the unavailable sign. So yeah, by the way, I'm filming with the Sony ZV-1, so it's obviously not going to sound that great. But anyways, yeah, so I switched to manual. So what happens if I increase it to 10? Because it seemed like it wasn't that high enough. Okay, so we're on audio level 10. Yeah, it's going a lot higher, so it's probably peaking at this point, so I probably don't want to mess around too much with it. Okay, so I just switched back to auto mode, and I changed the attenuation to 0 dB. I'm not really sure what that means. I know it's supposed to be like you increase the attenuation to 20 decibels if it's in a very quiet environment, but is my voice right now considered quiet? And you're supposed to reduce it to 0 dB if you're like in a very loud environment, like let's say you're in a concert. So I don't know if it makes a big difference. Okay, so I'm on 10 dB attenuation. To be honest, it's a little confusing. Like I watched a million reviews of this microphone. Maybe leave a comment if you know how this works, if you're a sound expert, but I thought because it's on auto mode, it would just take care of the levels. Like I don't have to adjust the attenuation. It's like right now, I'm actually getting less feedback, less recording levels into the microphone. Sorry, the levels are a lot less, smaller levels. Okay, let's increase it. Okay, so if my theory is correct, increasing to 20 decibels, yeah, so it's barely picking up my voice. So perhaps I need to keep it at 0 dB this whole time. So yeah, the attenuation mechanical switches are a little bit confusing because if I have auto, like which one do I use? Do I use the auto mode? I don't know. Let's do a quick off-axis test. Off-axis test. Speaking away from the shotgun mic. Now I'm speaking right in front of the shotgun mic. Okay, that's enough test. Let's edit this video, put it out there, and let me know what you guys think. So when I ended up watching the footage, the sound quality coming from a tablet, which is a typical device that people would use, or even their smartphone, I found that the sound quality was actually really good, a lot better than the Deity D3. So maybe it depends on the type of speakers and how you're delivering this format, the medium. So far, it's been pretty good. I cannot believe this, but this mic is not compatible with a recent generation, the Sony ZV-1 camera. Like, this is a new camera. What gives? I should have looked at the instruction manuals, but I'm really upset about this because this was the main point of purchasing this. What the f? Alright, so what do I think in conclusion about all these microphones? Well, I have to say, unfortunately, I'm not super impressed, but I do like the form factor of it and the way that it's so easy just to use. But when I compared it directly with the Deity D3, which would cost 1/3 of the price, I didn't really see a much big difference in sound quality. The sound signature is a little bit different. Maybe it detects a little bit of the highs, but there's still the same amount of reverberation that's happening in this untreated area that I'm filming in. So unfortunately, it's not magic. You still need to put the mic as close as possible. You can't be really far away. It's just really unfortunate. I thought this microphone would perform a little bit better. And what really disappointed me was the omnidirectional mode in this setting. Omnidirectional, I thought I could do maybe like a voiceover behind the camera so that I can get away with not having to buy like the Deity D4, which has a front and back capsule, which more properly captures the voice. It's kind of like basically having two shotgun mics on both sides. Wow, this is really heavy. So all in all, I think it's a really good form factor, but given the price, it's very hard to justify purchasing this, especially when you can buy a mic, like a much cheaper mic, and pretty much have the same performance. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Am I crazy? Is the B10 sound substantially better than the Deity D3? I'd love to know. Anyways, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Oh, and by the way, I'm going to be doing more tests for this, so definitely subscribe to this channel if you want to see more coverage of this microphone, the Sony ECM-B10.